Hi, I'm Rachel Abbasi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And this is take three because I couldn't remember what I was supposed to say. Anyway, the only reason keep saying that every day is because I have to be reminded of it every day. I know you know that, but I need to make sure that I know that I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. So that's why you get to hear that every day. You're welcome. Today, I wanted to talk about quieting the mind. And yeah, it does seem like this is just a third way of saying the same thing that I've been saying the past few days. But it's funny that this has really been the topic over the past week is about quieting the mind and training that Herbie the hamster, trying to manage disruptive thoughts. And I think what I wanted to do today was go a little bit further. Like, what are we doing once we get quiet, once we get still, once we start training Herbie? What are we doing? Um, and that would be that I'm listening. And that's what I was reminded of today in my meeting that um, I hear some people talk about how their higher power speaks through other people in the fellowship or other people in general. And some people say their higher power speaks through their intuition. No, mine doesn't do that because I don't have an intuition that would be even close to being that leaning to the next right thing, you know? My intuition seems to be the opposite of what I would think my higher power wants. But everybody that I talk to seems to find that listening part in different places. And I think that that's what meditation is. That's what I learned early on in sobriety, that praying is talking to God and meditation is listening to God. And when I was learning how to meditate, and I still am, you know, I hate to use past tense, but as I learn how to meditate, um, I started by making meditation like a big deal, you know. Um, I started by going to my Friday sobriety meeting, and that's where we meditated for 10 minutes. We would turn off the light and just get quiet. A room full of strangers, we would just get quiet. And it took me a while to get comfortable there. What it took me, you know, as I think about it, it took me a while to feel comfortable in a room full of strangers with the lights off and my eyes closed. But once I built that trust of, yeah, nobody's going to jump over my shoulder and attack me in this meeting. I had a lot of work to do on the inside. Then had to get comfortable sitting with myself, sitting with those thoughts, sitting with Herbie and figuring out what to do with these nonstop thoughts in my head. Um, it was hard to listen when my mind was just, excuse me, nonstop talking. Um, I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear beyond that, beyond my own thoughts. Um, I was sharing this morning that when I pause, which is something that I've learned also in my program, is I don't have to react right away to all of those things that I'm thinking. When I pause and am thoughtful about what action I'm going to take, how I'm going to respond to people, places, and things, um, I've recognized that my thoughts are made up of a whole lot of next wrong things I can do, and typically just one or two next right things, because I don't think there is one next right thing I need to do. Um, but I can tell you that most likely when I need to respond to people, places, and things, the next wrong thing is the first thing that comes through my mind. And that is something I've had to just pause and be like, nope, that's not what you need to do right now. And when I take even that extra beat, just one extra beat, it gives enough time for another idea to come to mind. And hopefully it's a next right thing. It isn't always, and sometimes I don't pause for enough beats before I do respond. Um, but taking that pause to be still and listen to whatever it is that you believe in, just be still and listen to even your own self-talk and run it through. For me, it's I'm running my thoughts through the 12 steps. So, however long that takes for me, that's how long my pause is going to be. And sometimes it's a week. I've told you guys about putting my boss's name in my God box for like a week. It took that long for me to pause and not react because I was so angry. I was so angry because, and I'll tell you why I was angry, because he wasn't doing something my way. So I was pissed. I wanted things to be done my way. And it wasn't I didn't get paid enough for people to do things my way. So I had to pause and I had to use my God box. And it took me, I think it was 5 days total. It was from Monday through Friday. It took me that long to sift through the next right thing, to find the next right thing, because everything was wrong. I could tell, I intuitively knew that my reactions and the things that I was thinking I needed to respond with were wrong. And I learned in the program that we will, as we get sober and maintain our sobriety, we will intuitively know how to navigate things that we used to not know how to deal with. And that is a translation into Rachel's terminology. But that is what I find happens is I have to stay quiet and pause on whatever that topic is. I'm not walking through life for a week without talking to anybody. I'm talking about pausing on whatever that subject is, whoever may have pissed me off or anything. I have to pause long enough to figure out what the next right thing is. And knowing that everything that I was thinking, all of my responses were the next wrong thing, I continued to not act on the thing, not act on my anger. And what ended up happening after the fifth day was that I had paused long enough that either I wasn't angry anymore or I saw the insignificance in the thing I was angry about. That at the end of the day, what was really wrong with me was that my ego was bruised. That's what was wrong with me. I was not like wholly passionate about whatever it was that I thought we should do at the company versus what he thought we should do. I believed that my ego was bruised. And it took me a week to heal my own ego. And so pausing for me doesn't always mean that I'm going to get to the next right thing. Sometimes pausing means that I end up letting time pass. The pause, the God box, helps me to not react, helps me to not have to make an amends to anybody. You know, I want to maintain my relationships. My the boss at that time who I put in the God box is my friend now. And I get to talk to him like, every other week or so. And I don't know that I could have damaged our relationship with however I wanted to react to the subject. And, that's not healthy for me to be pushing people away. What would I have gained at the end? Um, I certainly wouldn't have gotten my way. If I told him how pissed off I wasn't going to get my way. We did have a couple, heated arguments. Heated. I don't know that I would call it that. I end up crying when I get mad. I don't know if any of you uh, others do that, but whenever I get really angry, I end up crying. So what would have happened is I would have gone in there because this happened other times, gone in there and got totally mad and tried to stand up for myself and then just started crying. And that's not helping either. That makes me feel insecure, and although he was always very supportive when I would do that stuff. Not a lot of bosses would have put up with the with the shit that I handed over. But this pause gives me enough time to figure out what the next right thing is. And sometimes the next right thing is no thing, nothing. See what I did there? And once I'm able to navigate and grab a hold of the next right thing, even if it's nothing, I am giving myself an opportunity to give rise to inspiration and serenity and hopefulness. And I've learned all of this through the steps of the program. I mean, it's amazing to me that these steps aren't taught in school. That's what I believe should happen. I mean, these are just incredible ways to live, to think about, find something bigger than ourselves to believe in, which is really um, making sure that we're right sized and that we're not putting ourselves above everyone else. And then looking at our role in relationships. Once I'm right sized, then I can look at, um, okay, what does my relationship look like with this person? And what role have I played in the past? And what role do I need to play in the future? And then figuring out how to let go of some of that stuff that is holding me back from building beautiful relationships with people. And then after that, once I get some of that courage and inspiration and hopefulness and a little bit of serenity, a little the ability to get quiet. The more that I do all of that other stuff that I just listed, I get to become quiet because I've addressed some of that stuff that was bothering me and I didn't even know about it. Um, I'm starting to think more reasonably about my relationships. I'm starting to think about how to communicate with these people in my life. Um, then then I can go back and address some resentments that or some amends, not resentments. We've already done resentments. Go deal with the amends, see if I can make things right with others that I may have wronged. And then once I do all of that stuff, then it's daily maintenance, then it's taking a look at how did I behave today? Am I proud of what I did today? What I said today? Did I give to other people like I was talking about yesterday? Or are there some areas that I need to work on? And um and if I did wrong somebody or I don't feel quite balanced about something I said to somebody or how I treated them, I have the opportunity to write that right away. I have the opportunity to not sit on that, because the stuff that I sit on is going to feed my reactions later, with my relationship with that person. And then I get to keep figuring out what my relationship is with this higher power, this thing that I believe is bigger than me. The thing that right sizes my ego. I get to figure out how can I build my trust in that thing more and more so that I can live a more serene, hopeful, um, and joyful life. Um, and then finally, how can I help other people along? Are there things that I've experienced that I've suffered with that I wouldn't want to wish it on anybody else? That's why I'm here. It's a wonder that I was ever able to get quiet enough and still enough to listen to even the slightest whisper of the next right thing. It's a wonder that I was able to do that and then I'm here. And I believe that's why we lose a lot of people who are addicted or have mental health issues because um, I believe that for some people are sicker than others. And some people, that voice inside their head, that self-talk, Herbie the hamster, well, their hamster is a lot louder and it's really hard to listen. It's really hard to listen. I mean, I know that you're aware of like when you go to work, or you're dealing with somebody who your mind is trying to convince you. I talked about that this week. Your mind is trying to convince you that your fears are true. Your mind is trying to convince you to be jealous. Uh, your mind is trying to convince you that this person does not have your best interests at heart. Um, your mind is trying to convince you that the world is against you. And if not, your mind is trying to convince you that you deserve to be lonely. All of these things, it's hard to listen through all that noise. And I believe that's why we lose so many people because it's hard enough to listen, be quiet, be still, but then we actually have to pop our tire over the curb and take the action. I was just talking with a friend who's like, I really wanted to call you last night. And I said, well, I've been really wanting to call you too, but neither of us are picking up the phone. And I said, we need to be gentle with ourselves and we need to say, it is a success that we're able to sift through all of the noise, sift through all of the next wrong things, and even find the next right thing. And the next right thing is for us to pick up the phone and talk to somebody. Um, and even though we're not doing it yet, we're hearing that next right thing come to the surface of all of that self-talk. And I think that that's something that we should be excited about because eventually we're gonna get to that point where we take the action. I'm certain of that. I'm certain of that. And so that's what I've got for you today. Just a lot of, I don't know, thoughtful analysis of what my mind is doing, how my mind is working against me so often, and how I'm slowly, because of the steps, going to meetings and listening to people, um, how I'm able to to start quieting all of that stuff, all of that noise, and and find the next right thing in it. It's like a needle in a haystack sometimes, I swear. So thanks for listening today. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.